Okay, so this is the top 5 units of each element. This is not a global list because global I don't think it even has 5 units of each element. No, it does, but you know, it would be a terrible list. But more towards GP, right? But if you are a global player and you just want to know what units are on GP, who's best, who's you know better at PvP, this is a good list for you to check out. But the way I'm ranking these is very important. Is every single element I ranked more of who's the top 5 best is who are 5 units you should prioritize having for PvE content. It's more of the top 5 best of each element is a better title, so I have to put that as a title. But it's more 5 units you should prioritize having, and the ranking from right to left still exists, but is more abstract. There are situations where a specific unit, of course, is better than others, so a specific PvE scenario, and so keep all those things in mind before I actually start. So yeah, so moving in for green, I'm gonna do one of each element at a time. Green, I actually put as number 5, Giant Green Dian. Now, let me explain why. For each category, each element, I put a farmer. Green, the best farmer for green is Dian. What does Dian do? So, well yeah, this is I'm actually going to talk about every character because it's actually very important. Dian has 2 AoE attacks, and that's pretty much all you need to know. She has 2 AoE attacks, and her ultimate is AoE. So she is a really good farmer. Really good. One issue that she has is that the book stage for blue, the last enemy, is single target, but so long as you have like another single target, you know, with her in the team, she should work fine. And then she increased the defense related stats for each debuff on the hero, and it's alright. The one thing is a double AoE attack. That's why she's a really good farmer. And again, I wanted the list to have 1 farmer for each element, because farming is very important, man. Getting the books, the food, everything is very important. So it's good to have 1 of each element. And then moving on to blue, this is actually a unit that just came out. She literally just came out. And the most of the reason why she's coming on the list is because blue is probably the weakest element in the game right now. Even though it has fantastic units, you look at the other elements, red and green, and they have even more fantastic units. So, always keeping that in mind, especially for PvE. PvP, blue is popping in because blue the melee, but for PvE it's a little worse. But yeah, it's this girl, which I forgot her name already. What's her name? It's Easting. The reason why she comes in is because she's a support unit. She's the only blue support type unit in the game, and I had a hard time actually picking someone else. You can say, oh, put Slater in there, but you'll see my next pick for blue and you're like, why would you have 2 raid units, you know? So for PvE, blue is 100% the weakest element, and that's why I actually had to put her there, but she's still a good unit. First attack is AoE, so she's actually decent for farming, and then she also is a support unit, which support units are always good, man. They're always good, especially with attack-related stats. Like, one thing is that the only other unit in the game that has this is Green Helbram. And Green Helbram, he's alright. He's really weak. Like, he has low HP, low attack stat, like, he has low everything. This girl has actually pretty decent stats, and because of the passive, right, where she boosts her basic stats for each buff on ally, she actually becomes a really solid unit. So that's why I actually put her in number 5. Now moving on a little bit quicker, or else the video is going to be too long, is Red Hauser for the red typing. And again, same thing as the end. I just put him in there because he's a farmer, and I think farmers are very much important to have in the game. Hauser is a coin shop unit as well, so you can easily pick up and make him 6/6. He used to be mad in PvP as well, so that also counts, although this is a PvE list. Double AoE attack. So the first one inflicts pierce, and one of the big things with him is that if you pair him up with Lilia, which I'll talk about in a second because of course she makes the list. If you pair him up with Lilia, he becomes way stronger. And again, double AoE attack, and then the ultimate is also AoE, just like Dian. So just like Dian, he's the best red farmer, so I had to put him in there. Now moving on, green, I put, where is him? Yeah, Green King. Now the reason why I put Green King in the list is because he is the best Grey Demon unit, and again, like I said, these are a list of units that you should have of each element for PvE, and you need Green King because he is the best Grey Demon unit. If you join someone they invite you to the Grey Demon and you're not using Green King, they're gonna kick you. Because Green King is the best unit for the Grey Demon, and if you don't have the best unit for the raid, you're gonna get kicked. It's just how it is. Maybe not the best, but because Green only has really one option for the Grey Demon, like Escanor can work, but he's just not good. Like, he's like the only good option for the Grey Demon. So you need him, and that's why he makes the list. Not much to explain, he just does good damage on the Grey Demon because he does have the boost on damage. And this card right here, if he crits, which he should because he gets an extra chance of critting every time he gets an extra ult gauge, he just does mega damage on the Grey Demon. So that's why he makes the list, because he's a necessary raid unit. And then moving on to blue, same thing for... oh my god, so many characters. So many characters. I mean, I should have picked a list that doesn't have the SRs and Rs because I'm not ranking them, but I already had the list with all of them, so I decided to just pick mine. Okay, while I find it, let me take a cut. This actually took me way longer than I thought it was gonna be. But Blue Bond, and again, same thing as Green King. Now, less than Green King, because the Red Demon on I don't count Extreme for the Red Demon, because Red Demon Extreme is like, you can bring full R team plus a freeze and you'll beat it, right? But Hell Red Demon, Bond is the objective best unit. Like, Slater is alright, but because you can't keep freezing him as easily, you have to petrify him. Sometimes he's gonna attack and then he gets ult cage and Slater doesn't crit as much. But Bond, he doesn't, like, there's nothing that can stop him from doing damage, and that's why he is the objective best unit for the Red Demon. But that being said, Red Demon has so many options for Extreme that I don't even count him for Extreme. But Hell, he is a necessary unit. Not necessary. I personally don't use him because when this Bond came out, this one right here, I thought he was gonna be a god tier unit because of his passive. Ended up not being, but and I got him to 80, right? And so I already have a Blue Bond level 80, so I didn't 80 this one, but this one is so much better than this one. It's not even close. So much better for Red Demon, because the other Bond relies on snatching first, while this Bond, he just charges up and boom, 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 he just does like 70k damage on level 1, especially for Bond's like really good. So he's a necessary unit for Red Demon. Extreme, Hell, I'm sorry. Extreme again, you don't need it, just have a freeze unit and you're gonna beat it, it's no problem. But Hell, necessary unit. Moving on to Red, it's Red Demon Melee, if I find him. Red Demon is gonna be easy to find because he looks a little weird on his picture. He looks like, yeah, he's looking at you, like this. So Red Demon Melee, I mean, he is also here because he's a raid unit kind of, but he's really good. Like, at this point in time, Red Demon Melee is not the best unit for his raid anymore. It's Derriere, for Crimson, right? But he's still a very solid unit for PVE, single target wise. Single target damage, he does so much because his cards applies 3 ignites, 450 applies 3 ignites, is like 30% extra damage on top of the 450 if you do get a level 3 card, and sealing the heal is really good, and his ultimate hits incredibly hard, combining with the fact that he easily debuffs, right? So he's a very good unit for PvE. He has insane chance to crit, insane crit damage, and he was actually pretty decent for a guild boss if you just wanted the 2.2k points. He is still really decent, but he's a very solid PvE unit in general. Right now, again, because Crimson he got Derriere, which is now the objective best unit for Crimson, he lost a little bit of his lust, but you know, he's still okay. He's still really good, and that's why I put him in number 4. While making the list, I just couldn't pick up someone that was better than him. Like, looking at all these units, I can't think, like, maybe Elaine, because Elaine is like really good as a booster, right? But nah, she's just a like a 4th slot, right? She's not like in the front doing anything. So you know, I just put Red Demon Melee. And moving on, I have Jericho for green. Jericho, the second hardest hitting unit in the game right now on GP, and on Global she's the hardest hitting unit in the game. It will be for a while. Actually, I posted a video about her yesterday, and I did get like 3.5 million on type disadvantage with her, so that was pretty cool. I know that she can get up to 4 million damage on type disadvantage on the guild boss. I personally wasn't able to because my Jericho doesn't have the god tier roll for her attack gear, but really good unit. She does insane damage on her cards, but pretty much it's this. Her ultimate inflicts spike, which doubles the crit damage, and her crit damage is insane. If you give her more crit damage, it becomes more insane. If she crits on an ult, she does insane damage, especially on freeze, because how I've been seeing it, freeze, level 2 and 3 freezes, they increase crit damage even more. Because if you use her without the freaking freeze, she hits for like, I don't know, 600k, right? Or like 400k on her ultimate. And then you freeze and she hits for like 2.2 million. You know, it's insane. Even though, you know, it triples damage. But I feel like it does more than just tripling the damage. It increases the crit damage as well. So combining her with freeze units is really, really good. So Jericho goes to number 3. She's really good for Guild Boss, and Guild Boss is an activity that you need to complete every week and get high points every week. So that's why she's very important to have. Now moving on to blue, Lilia, and I already am gonna put Niameli in here because they're always holding hands, right? They're always holding hands in PVE, and they are the best unit if you're gonna farm boss stages. Like, my team for farming boss stages is her, Niameli, and Hauser. And they work so well. I just click on auto, and they finish the boss stages super quick because the Niameli card hits so goddamn hard. Like, here's the thing. I'm gonna open Niameli and Lilia at the same time because they are like a super good combo, but Lilia by herself is also a really good unit. So Lilia boosts the pierce rate of all allies by 50% of her own pierce rate. So if you just give her pierce rate on her gear, she gives insane pierce rate to the allies. She takes off ult gauge, which is really good, and she's a healer. And her ultimate does take off ult gauge if he decreases the skill ranks as well. But all in all, the passive is where it's really at, right? Being a healer is really good as well, but don't get me wrong, the passive is where it's really at. And then if you combine her with Meliodas, which triples his pierce rate, like, this is the most god tier combo in the game. Even Darieri plus Gopher, which is like an insane one as well, or Darieri plus anyone, this is still the god tier combo, the wombo combo of the game. Because Niameli already has 40%, which is really good pierce as a base, but he has 40% and then he gets boosted by Lily and then he triples it. And that's just insane damage. If you ever use Blue Niameli or seen a video of Blue Niameli, he does insane damage. Like, he does Escanor level damage, which was the hardest hitting unit, like, with normal attacks, right? Like, with ease in the game, but he does the AoE. It's like, he's so insane. And then this Corrosion card, it's not the best, but it's pretty good. Like, Corrosion is actually pretty good, especially for long fights if the enemy can be debuffed, and it's just really good. Really, really, really good. Not even to mention PvP. This is a PvE, not tier list, but a PvE list in general. So I'm not really mentioning PvP, but he's also like the wombo combo of PvP is this one as well. So that's why I put Lilia and Niameli right there. We're close to each other. Moving on to red, we're back to red. Red Escanor. Red Escanor is really stupid. More in PvP, but he's still really, really good in PvE. His card does insane damage, and he also has the AoE that takes off ult gauge. Now, he has the same card as Lilia, and if you use Lilia, you're like, oh, this card doesn't do much damage. Like, the 150% is not that much. But because Escanor has base 80% pierce rate, he actually does insane damage. And of course, base really high attack stat, right? He does insane damage on his AoE card. His ultimate hits is stupidly high. He is just stupid. And in the first 3 turns, he has extra 50% HP related stats. So not only he has insane HP, he also fully heals when he attacks. Like, if he takes, like, because let's say your Escanor has like 170k HP by starting the turn, right? Because of the extra 50%, let's say. And then he takes like 160k damage in the first turn, which won't happen. But imagine that happens, right? If you do like a level 3 card, you're gonna fully heal. You're just gonna fully heal because he has like 50% extra lifesteal, which would be 50, okay. He has 50% extra lifesteal, so Escanor, insane unit, god tier unit. I love this guy. He's a fun unit to use as well because of the AoE, and the cards look so good. The animations look so good. It's just, Escanor is a badass dude. I don't know what to say. He just looks really good. And moving on to green is Escanor again. Whoa. Where is Escanor? It's gonna be hard to find again, huh? Actually, didn't take as long as Bond. Okay, Escanor. Escanor, really good unit. I had to put him above Jericho. So I was thinking of putting Jericho above Escanor, but when I use Escanor, I see how fluid he is. Like, he is just a solid unit, and it's because of this card. Now, other units have this card, Let me actually take a look at it. I think there are like 2 more units that have this card. I think it's yeah, alt gauge increases auto gauge. Yeah, I think it's Monspeed, Elaine, and that's it. Yeah, I think Monspeed and Elaine also have this card, but it doesn't work with them. It just doesn't. You know why? Because he's Escanor. That's why it works with him. He's such a beast with his insane pierce rate and insane combat, insane attack stat. But this card does mega damage, and then he feels his ult gauge, and his ult is a pretty much in one shot in anyone. Like, okay, some, of course, a lot of PVE bosses, they have like a lot of health, are gonna like, he's 40 years old. Okay, a lot of bosses in PvE are gonna tank, right? But if you have him at like 3-6 or something, and you combo him with Merlin, he does like, oh my god, the multiplier is so high. He hits so hard because of the 80% pierce rate as well. Like, his ultimate hits super hard, and it's so easy to get. Like, Jericho, I love Jericho, but you need to build her up, and it's so goddamn annoying. You need to, like, keep doing her attack so she increases the crit chance, right? Escanor, no. You can, if you get lucky and you get an extra level 1 card in the beginning, let's say, because you get 7 cards, right? You get 1 of each card of your team, and then 1 extra randomly. And then if your random card is an extra 1 of these, you get an ultimate first turn because you move the card, you combine, that's 2 ult gauge, and then you use the card, that's another ult gauge, and then you get the ult gauge from the card, so that's 5 ult gauge. Boom, that's an ultimate. And you still have 1 more turn to use whatever card you want in the game from your team, right? Maybe you want to use like an Estarossa counter or something. I don't know. He's so fluid, he's so good. He's so fun to use as well. I love this card. And then when he has full ult gauge, he removes buffs and debuffs. Now, when this ability came out, people were like, oh, removes buffs is trash. But removing debuffs is so good because he can't be attack weakened on ultimate. He can't be petrified when he has ultimate. He can't be attack sealed when he has full ultimate. So it's like, it's so good. Escanor is such a fun unit as well. Both Escanors, they did a good job with both Escanors to make them like super good and fun. Sorry for Red Escanor being lower than Green one on his own list, but it's just because Red is like the best typing in the game. And it's because of these next cards. So because Blue already has 4, let me move on to Red. Next best PvE unit in the game is Dariari, and she's the second best. So, oh my god, I hate this website. Move! It's okay. It's Red Dariari. Now, Red Dariari is the most insane unit in the game. I have to give her number 2 because Gopher is better. Just objectively speaking, he's better. But look at this chart. Okay, he's not good for Gray EX or farming, but look at this chart. It's so good. She's so stupid. She's the best unit for Crimson right now. Objectively, she's the best unit for Crimson, and she's the hardest hitting unit in the game because of this passive. Increases her own attack by 10% each time she attacks, and the buffs go away if she doesn't attack. But because each buff counts as an individual buff, she boosts so much her own ultimate that it has Amplify. So for each buff that she has, increases damage by 30%. And each of these count as an individual buff. So that's, if you have her full passive, that's an extra 300%. L1 ult level, she does 930. Plus, of course, you're boosting yourself by 100%. And then she also has a blue card that boosts her stats by 20, 30, and 50%. 50! 50! And that also gives evade, which doesn't take damage for 1 turn. Which, by the way, also counts as a boost for the Amplify. So she's the hardest hitting in the game. She's one of the best tanks in the game. Like, because she doesn't take damage for 1 turn, and she has really good resistance. Like 50% resistance base for the hardest hitting unit in the game. That's so stupid. It's most stupid unit in the game. I still need to give Gopher the number 1, spoilers, but she's so stupid, and probably my second favorite unit in the game. My favorite unit in the game is Estarossa, which should be somewhere around here. My favorite unit in the game is still Green Estarossa, just because of Fudu Counter. Every single time you use his counter card, it says Fudu Counter, and that just gives me a chub. It's just so good. So good. Let me actually, I have the game open right here. Let me open him up. I just love listening to him doing his stuff, okay. He has a full counter card, and it taunts the enemy. It taunts the enemy, so they have to attack him. Alright, we give the level 3. It's so good! So good. Alright, he taunts the enemy, so the enemy has to attack him. He doesn't have a choice. And he inflicts 240, 260, or 600. And the level 3 lasts for 2 turns. So he's taunting the enemy for 2 turns to attack him while countering them for 600%. What's the multiplier on Escanor's card again? Multiplier for Escanor card is 500%. The counter hits harder than an Escanor attack at level 3, and they don't they have to attack him. Especially because PVE, the enemy doesn't know, right? The enemy doesn't know. On PvP, right, people can avoid attacking. If they see a level 3 counter, they're like, oh, I'm just not gonna attack. I don't want to take the damage. But on PvE, the enemies are stupid. They're gonna attack him, so they're gonna take the counters. It's so good. And his card ignores defense, which is also really good. But his passive is a #0. No, this is the bug in the website. He removes debuffs and grants debuff immunity to the ally that assumes a stance. That applies to himself as well, by the way. Which means that whenever he uses his counter, he can't be debuffed. So no petrify, no attack weakening, no nothing. He can't be debuffed. This is my favorite card in the game. He's so fun, and on top of everything, he's a coin shop unit. You can literally buy him. It's so good. I love him so much. And his ultimate, a lot of people had a problem with his ultimate because of the low multiplier, but you gotta understand, his ultimate for 1 turn, he takes a preemptive attack stance, and if the enemy attacks, he nullifies the entire turn of the enemy and does the damage like the 300% damage back. So for 1 turn, the enemy just can't even attack you. No ults, no nothing. They can't attack you at all. Which means that on this 1 turn, you can charge up your own ultimates and stuff and just have a free turn. Such a fun unit. My favorite unit in the game. It's so good. Love this guy. Love this guy so much. Then moving on to blue, I have Blue King. Now, a little bit of a boring choice, I know, because everyone has Blue King. So you don't have to summon for him. But he is just, oh my god, here. He is just good, okay? Blue King is just good. His healing is good, his pacify is good, he's just good. He works in so many freaking PvE activities. Now, every super boss that comes out that's red, he's gonna be good. And he's just good. He's just good. Like, it's so hard to explain why King is good, because not only everyone has King, right? So everyone knows he's good, but he's just good. It's funny because with Estarossa I explained for like 5 minutes on why he's the best green PvE unit in the game. With King is like, it's just good, man. It's just good. I was debating actually doing this and putting King number 3 and putting the Amelie and Lilia in the front, but then I realized that for the Amelie to be the best PvE unit in the game, he needs another summonable unit, while King is a free-to-play unit that requires no one else to support him. He is the support. So it's like, nah, I had to put King number 1. And again, I don't know if I should really explain. He's just good. The man's just good. But yeah, Gopher is number 1. He's the best PvE unit in the game. If I had to rank, I would say, in my opinion, the best PvE units in the game are Gopher, Darieri, Estarossa, and then Escanor, and then the King. Again, blue for me is the worst PvE element in the game. But it's still good. Like, Blue DML is still good, but it's just the worst in comparison, right? In comparison to, like, Gopher. Gopher is objectively... Okay, no, I don't want to say objectively because people might think different, but I personally think he's the best unit in the game in general, and best PvE unit in the game especially, because of this card. Like, let's nullify the fact that he has this card, which is already good, because he attack seals, which a lot of PvE activities can be attack sealed. Let's forget he has this card. This card that ranks up an ally is just so goddamn stupid, because level 3 cards in this game are not easy to get. They really aren't. But what Gopher can do is, if you get a level 1, and you have another level 1 of that card, he can rank up the 2 level 1s into level 2s, and then you combine the level 2s, it becomes level 3. Now, what that means is, if you pair him up, right? If you make this team, if you pair him up with Estarossa, do I have the team ready? I don't think I do. I would have to make a new team real quick. Okay, so let's say you make this team, right? And you pair him up with Estarossa and Derriere. Now you rank up Estarossa to keep having the level 3 counters, or level 2 counters, whatever. And then you keep pumping up Derriere cards so she keeps getting boosted. And then whatever damage Estarossa takes, because he has insane lifesteal, he keeps like doing the insane damage back and healing. Plus, I put Elizabeth in the back because Elizabeth is actually super broken, and she heals all allies by 10% per turn. So whatever damage Estarossa takes, he just heals. So this is like the best PvE team in the game. Like Gopher keeps ranking up, and then Estarossa keeps countering. Derriere keeps attacking, and then you keep healing. So you don't even take damage because everyone's single targeting Estarossa, and he's attacking back with his counters. So he keeps healing, and whatever damage he doesn't heal, Ellie heals. So it's so good. Gopher is the best unit in the game. He is used for every raid, like literally every raid on Extreme, and Hell, of course, Crimson. So you can see the chart, right? Look at this. Okay, so good. And then his passive, I'll have a talk, okay, with Grand Cross Database Girl, because she's wrong on here. His passive is at least a 4.5, because here's the thing. Yesterday I was doing the Jericho video, and without the Gopher passive, she hit for 2 million. With the Gopher passive, she hit for 3.5. That was the difference between having the extra 50% attack that he can provide. Now, yeah, not having Gopher be attacked is a little bit of a chore, but let's say everyone is single target. Oh wow, no one's attacking Gopher because they're attacking Estarossa. You know, and then he keeps boosting Estarossa and Derriere keeps boosting herself, and just, oh my god, it's just the combinations. Yeah, Gopher's the best PvE in the game. And that's it. So this is the top 5 best PvE units of each element. Again, if you skip to the end and you didn't hear the explanations, let me rephrase again. One of each category has a farmer and a raid unit. Oh, I'm sorry, I picked farmer, but is this guy the farmer? One of each element has a farmer, and one of each element has a raid unit. Or we can put Derriere in there as well. But yeah. This is what I think are the top 5, and thank you guys for watching. Long video, but I think I wanted to make a long video because I wanted to explain each unit. I think it's better like this.